Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to the Joy Newsroom at 1. My name is Kenneth. Jesse, coming up this afternoon, excitement filled the Ebre Botanical Gardens yesterday as the Joy FM family party in the park drew hundreds of patrons. We got details as patrons pledged to make the family party their preferred destination every year. And governance advisor punches holes in proposal to reduce presidential age limit to 30. We got details as chairman of the Constitutional Review Committee defends the recommendation.
They didn't like the idea of reducing the age from 40 to 30, because I think at 30 years we don't have enough maturity. Pardon me for those who think I'm wrong, but
And over 100 persons arrested in Accra, Tabora, and Lashibi in major mobile money fraud crackdown. We got the latest of these and many other stories coming up shortly. Stay tuned. And this afternoon, a coordinated intelligence-led operation carried out in the early hours of Friday involving the Cybersecurity Authority, the Ghana Police Service, National Security, and the Ghana Immigration Service has led to the arrest of 141 suspects in Tabora and Lashibi of alleged involvement in mobile money fraud and other cyber-enabled financial crimes. Public Relations Officer of the Criminal Investigations Department, Chief Inspector Bridget Banabawu, speaking on the arrest, says the general public must remain vigilant and report suspicious activities online. Well, the security agencies also seized 38 laptops and 150 mobile phones believed to have been used in committing the crimes. The offenses under investigation include momo fraud, romance scams, sextortion, business email compromise, and wire fraud.
Preliminary profiling indicates that the suspects are believed to be Nigerian nationals. During the operation, officers retrieved 38 laptop computers and 150 mobile phones, all suspected to have been used in the commission of the cyber-enabled financial crimes. Preliminary investigation suggests that the suspects were engaged in a range of criminal activities, including mobile money fraud, romance scams, sextortion, business email compromise, and wire fraud, which have resulted in significant financial losses to individuals and businesses, both locally and internationally. We also urge members of the public to remain vigilant, exercise caution in digital transactions, promptly report suspicious online activities, and continue to support state institutions in their collective fight against cybercrime.
Now, still on crime, a swift police operation in Tamale have led to the arrest of 26-year-old Fuseni Ibrahim for allegedly kidnapping Haruna Adamu, a young lady who was held captive for 4 days in Dalugu Yili, a suburb of Tamale. Well, the IGP Special Operations Team, led by Chief Inspector Abdullahi Tahiru, responded to reports of the abduction and rescued the victim without incident. Well, the suspect is now in custody and the victim has been reunited with her relieved parents. Let's get onto the phone lines right now and speak to our resident correspondent in the northern region, Martina Bugri, for more. Martina, what more can you tell us on this disturbing story?
So we are told that the young man is a friend to somebody who knows the lady. And so he reached out to the lady while the lady was in school and said he could help them spiritually. And that when the girl went home during the holidays, she contacted him. And then the guy invited her to his home, but apparently locked her up in a cage where he continuously sexually abused. And this is the version of the young man that I'm told he narrated. But the lady herself now cannot recall anything that happened. The man had put some spiritual stuff on her. He had worn her a talisman, put some rings on her, initiated her into some spiritual process. So the lady forgot totally where she was coming from, who she is, and just lived in the house for the last 4 days as if she was part of the man's life. And so when they brought them to the police station, they made him to take all those things off the girl. And currently we are told the girl is at a hospital and receiving some treatment.
Martina, is this an isolated incident, or is the area known for incidents like this?
So in the last 2 months, we have had 2 incidents of kidnap. One was in the Yendi areas, and this one that has happened. We are told that the man kept demanding money from the parents of the girl, and they kept spending the money until they were able to pick him up. In the Yendi case, too, they were demanding money from the victims' people as well.
Martina Bugre is our resident correspondent in the northern region. Thank you. Back here in the Greater Accra region, the Member of Parliament for Ada, Comfort Doyo, and the Ada East District Chief Executive, Kenneth Kabu Kano, have reaffirmed their unwavering commitment to delivering key campaign promises made ahead of the 2024 elections. Top on the agenda are plans to establish a 24-hour market and undertake the dredging of the Kewuno and Azizakbe estuaries. The assurances were given at the end of their constituency performance review meeting in Ada, organized under the auspices of the NDC constituency chairman. Carlos Coloni has more from Ada.
Despite being a long-standing stronghold of the ruling National Democratic Congress, the NDC, the Ada constituency continues to face deep-rooted development challenges. As a coastal area, many communities are heavily impacted by coastal erosion and tidal flooding, threatening livelihoods and worsening economic vulnerability. Addressing party executives and residents at a 2025-year review meeting with branch chairpersons convened by the NDC constituency chairman Emmanuel Tete Kabu, the district chief executive Kenneth Kabu Kano announced that government will soon commence dredging works at the Kewuno and Azizakbe electoral areas to ease the impact of climate change.
The Kewuno, Azizakbe, and Ayibo, they are closer to the estuary. So at any given time, the estuary happened to be the last area that all the debris comes to. So at any given time, we have to fill it. We have to desilt or dredge it. So we are going to dredge it from tomorrow. If you wouldn't mind, I can send you to Azania to go and look at the dredger that is already there. And tomorrow we are going to start with it. And it's going to cost us about 310,000 Ghana cedis. So we are trying as much as possible to do it because we can't allow the good people of Azania, Ayibo, and Kewuno to suffer again. We need to desilt it, and tomorrow I'm desilting it.
The Member of Parliament for Ada, Comfort Doyo Ganza assured constituents that both ongoing and stalled development projects, including the yet-to-be-built 24-hour market, will be fast-tracked to stimulate local commerce and job creation.
24-hour market, we are more than ready to take off. The plans are ready, and we will sit down this Christmas to look at it with the market women and everything. We are doing a lot of consultation, and we will still call the market women to come so that we work together with unity to build that 24-hour market. And if we start it, we are going to speed up to make sure we finish it on time.
The NDC constituency chairman for Ada, Emmanuel Tete Kabo, rated the first-year performance of the MP and the DC as satisfactory.
For some time now, the MP and the DCs, they are doing things in the community where some of the people of this Ada, they don't know. And actually, as the chairman of the NDC party in Ada constituency, I have the MP and I have the DC, and I'm supposed to call this town hall meeting. Then they should come and tell us so far in the year what they are achieved and what is the challenges and what they have for us in the next year. So far, so good. They are talk well. And I'll pray that all what they tell us, they must do force and do it.
The constituency leadership says it has also secured support from the Magdan Group Limited for the dredging of 18 kilometers of the Puite River, a project expected to significantly boost agribusiness and food production in the area. Carlos Caloni, Joy News, Ada.
Well, let's still stay in Ada because as chieftaincy disputes continue to flare up in parts of the country, traditional leaders in Ada say they are intensifying efforts to resolve all lingering tensions to safeguard peace and accelerate development in the area. Ada has over the years experienced communal and chieftaincy disputes, particularly linked to the Songo salt concession, often slow in development. But at the end of year reflection meeting in Ada, the Association of Ada Community Chiefs says it is determined to turn the tide through dialogue and sustained engagement. Carlos Caloni once again reports from Ada.
Is one of the fastest growing coastal communities in the Greater Accra region and home to the country's largest salt resource, the Songo Lagoon. Yet, years of chieftaincy and communal clashes have periodically stalled progress. To stem the tide, the Association of Ada Community Chiefs was formed at a 2025 annual review meeting. Spokesperson for the association, Nene Dameseu III, reaffirmed their commitment to dialogue as the primary tool for preventing disputes and preserving the peace.
Change is a difficult thing, and so we think it's a human factor. People are having competing views, and you will need to have time. You need to be patient and talk to people to be able to bring the change that you are looking for. So in the view of our association, of course, it is our members who suffer the very difficult decisions that emanate from chieftaincy disputes. And so we have plans of collaborating with traditional council and the traditional structures to look at how best some of these things can be done. Again, it's about engagement, it's about interaction, it's about sitting around a table and then discuss the issues.
A former district chief executive of the Ada East Municipal Assembly, Dr. Daniel Wosa, expressed concern about rising indiscipline among the youth, urging deeper engagement to curb tensions and promote unity.
In recent times, I've seen that what we experienced is not what we are seeing now. That, yes, the youth may have their challenges. But there is a way of channeling one's grievance or challenge to be heard by the elders. And so I found that what we saw or we met when we were growing up is not what we are experiencing now. So there is a need for our elders together. All of us should sit up and instill that kind of discipline in the youth that are coming.
Nene Dameseu III also appealed to the youth to set aside acrimony and channel grievances through their traditional leaders, stressing that peaceful resolution remains key to Ada's development.
Let's put down the acrimony, hearsay. We must be able to channel our concerns through our chiefs, who are members of the association. That way, we benefit from the leverage of the platform that we have created legally so that we can be able to speak and our voice will be heard.
The paramount chief and president of the Ada Traditional Council, Nene Kabu Akwaku III, who recently marked 48 years on the stool, was honored with a citation alongside Magdan Group chairman Daniel Macaulay in recognition of their leadership and contributions to peace in Ada. Carlos Caloni, Joy News, Ada.
Let's take you to the Upper West region, where the Member of Parliament for Wa East, Dr. Godfred Seidu Jasor, has reiterated the commitment of the National Democratic Congress in working to improving the delivery of quality of healthcare for the people. Speaking at the commissioning of 2 community health and planning services, CHIPS compound at Tuasa and Chagupala, Dr. Godfred Jasor conceded that poor state of healthcare facilities in the district, which he pledged to ensure that there are rehabilitation efforts and new ones will be constructed at outlandish communities to bring the delivery of quality of healthcare to the doorstep of the people. Joy News' Upper West regional correspondent Rafiq Salam reports.
One major challenge faced by the West district in the Upper West region is inadequate health facilities to take care of the medical needs of its growing population. The district, which is a predominant farming enclave, is one of the largest in the region, but with very little accessible roads. As a result of that, residents of the district often go through arduous times in their bid to access quality medical care. Upon winning the mandate of the people to serve as their legislature, one of the immediate priorities of Dr. Godfred Jasor was to give a facelift to already existing health facilities and construct new ones at areas considered to be outlandish. The construction of the Tuasa Community Health and Planning Services CHIPS compound is therefore in line with the objective of the West MP. With funding support from Qatar Charity, this magnificent edifice was constructed for the Tuasa community. Included on the project is water facility and accommodation for staff. Hitherto, the medical needs of the people were catered for at this single bedroom and hall provided by the community and equipped by the West MP.
Qatar Charity has been so generous to the people of Wa East. They've donated at least 2 clinics, and this is the 3rd clinic that they are donating to the people of Wa East. They have donated several mosques and drilled several boreholes to many communities, including Tuasa community, to the people of Wa East so far. And so on this occasion, Qatar Charity has responded to a need, which is that the people of Tuasa trek several miles to be able to access primary healthcare services. And so having communicated this to the people of Tuasa, the Qatar Charity, on the challenges of the people of Tuasa, Qatar Charity graciously agreed to donate this clinic today to the people of Tuasa.
Dr. Godfred Jasor spoke of plans to complement the work of the Qatar Charity with additional delivery beds and equipment for the laboratory.
We also observed that there have been some partial furnishing of the facility. And so as Member of Parliament, I commit to supporting this facility to complete the rest of the furnishing. I will be providing additional hospital beds and delivery beds to the facility. Qatar Charity has included a lab in the facility and will be supporting with some lab equipment to enable them carry out basic tests for our people here. I've seen that there's my favorite ward, which is the maternity ward, where my mothers will give birth, where I'm so concerned about infant mortality. And so the statistics are showing that our infant mortality figures are dropping. And once they are dropping, that's a huge encouragement. And so together with the health director, we'll be able to profile whatever additional support we need, particularly in the maternity section, so that I will support for us to be able to provide and supplement what Qatar Charity has provided.
The West legislature earlier commissioned a renovated CHIPS compound for Chagupala.
Cracks. The doors were down. I don't even know how the nurses were surviving here. Their security was at stake, and the risk element was so high. The windows were all torn down and so on. So we committed that as part of my effort to improving healthcare delivery services in the district, we will bring the facility up to shape so that it can serve as a quality facility that if patients even come, on sighting and getting here, they will start to get some psychological healing.
Why is the State Director of Health Services, Dr. Benjamin Amiyori, bemoaned the poor state of health facilities in the district, lacing it with the commitment of the MP and the West Assembly to fixing them.
I can speak of Funsi. The leaking structure is going to be renovated by the district assembly. I can speak of Local Health Center because we are trying to target these three areas. You know, we have the Bulinga zone from our health area. We have earmarked them into three areas, but majorly two. The Bulinga area, so that we cut off referrals from that place to one.
Why is the Chief Executive Adamu Saibu emphasized the commitment of the government, for that matter, the Wise Assembly, to ensuring that healthcare delivery is improved.
That we want to make sure that at least by the end of our tenure, almost all the communities within Wise that are supposed to have chest compound have their chest compound that they can rely on. That is our target. One thing we also did is that any chest compound that is not having a water facility, we make sure we provide a water facility.
Reporting for Dway News, Rafik Salam, Twosa.
Still in the Upper West region, the regional commander of the Ghana National Fire Service, Assistant Chief Fire Officer Grade 2, Isaac Kofi Obosu, has revealed that the fire incidents in the region have significantly dropped compared to last year. The region recorded 201 fire incidents last year, but this year, with just a few days remaining, the number has fallen to 134. Speaking to Joy News' Upper West regional correspondent Rafik Salam in an exclusive interview, he noted that despite the reduction, the service still faces challenges with aging fire tenders and equipment which hinder smooth operations.
According to the Upper West Regional Commander of the Ghana National Fire Service, Assistant Chief Fire Officer, Grade 2, Isaac Kofi Obosu, there have been significant reduction in the number of fire incidents in the region as a result of massive public education embarked on by his outfit.
So we sent officers and men out, specifically to the market, to the lorry parks, to schools, mosques, and then public places. And we strategically sent out a lot of females. You know how men relate when they see females. So they really cooperated with them. And I believe that one has culminated in the drastic reduction of fires and other incidents within this year. Because we recorded 201 fires and other incidents last year. As we speak, we've got to the tail end of the year, and the records that we have give us a figure of 134 in all. So a drastic reduction of 67 incidents. And I will attribute it to the good work of our safety team.
Assistant Fire Officer Grade 2, Isaac Kofi Obosu, noted that the achievement was not without challenges.
The challenges that we have mainly dwells on the appliances, which are mostly aged. The newest that we can talk of or boost off in the system are about 14 years old. But you know, there's an adage that we should perform magic wherever we find ourselves. So we are doing good with the little resources that we have by way of the appliances. But with the promise by the government to retool us, we are just lying in wait for them. We know they are not going to come at a go, but we'll just adjust our system and then ourselves to make do with the ones that come in trickles. But we know by the end of the year 2026, we'll have the full complement of the 100 appliances that we've been so promised.
He asserted that one area of concern is the old Wadele market, which has now been haphazardly reconstructed, blocking some access routes.
If we say we are going to go it, let me use this way, the Buga way, then we would have to clear a lot of people on the way before we get to the seat of the fire. But we'll be forced on humanitarian grounds to really extend lots of hoses. But you know, a fully charged hose contains 20 gallons of water. So assuming we lay about 20, it means 200 gallons of water is already blocked in the hoses. And then looking at the frictional losses, the pressure from one end to the other, That is where the major challenge is. So we'll be able to put it off, but the timing will not be appreciated.
So what do you want to be done now?
It is the promise by the MCE to decongest the market and give us the access. So as we speak, we are relying on him.
The Airforce commander of the Ghana National Fire Service also spoke about the regional bush burning during the dry season, calling on the people to desist from the practice.
And we are trying to educate them, because the bush burning that is going on here is a lazy man's approach to reading. What stops you from engaging the services of even inmates to go and work for you than to set fires unattended to? When the fire gets out of hand, it's no respect of.
So beyond that, are you prepared to invoke that law?
Yes, we have to. We have to, and we'll just bring it on board here.
Reporting for J News, Rafik Salam. Wow.
The culinary sensation behind Cookathon, executive chef Failatu Abdul Razak has spread some holiday cheers to the Tamale Central prisons with her initiative Christmas Behind Bars. The event was her own way of putting smiles on the faces of the inmates. Speaking at the event, she stressed that prison inmates, often overlooked by society, also deserve kindness and compassion, highlighting the importance of treating them with dignity, especially during the festive season.
The atmosphere was a lively event with government officials, MPs, prison officers, and sponsors coming together to spread the joy to the inmates. The inmates were treated to food and entertainment, a welcome from their daily routine. Speaking at the event, Chef Faila took the opportunity to encourage the inmates to make most of the skills they have learned so they can reintegrate into society as positive contributors.
Our brothers and sisters should not be neglected. They should not be abandoned. They should not be left to rot behind the walls. Should you have the opportunity to once again have freedom outside, I want you to know that that freedom is extremely expensive. You don't want yourself in here. You are in here because of circumstances. We love you with the deepest part of our hearts, and we want you to join us back into the society.
The MP for Tamale Central, Professor Ali Dusedu, praised Shelfaila for her ongoing humanitarian work and promised to institutionalize the event, ensuring it becomes a regular occurrence.
Her ingenuity, her innovativeness, and her love for people, especially the downtrodden in society, has manifested throughout her work. We are very grateful to you, Shelfaila, and I promise you that I'm going to work with her. And this is not just going to be the beginning, it's now going to be institutionalized.
The Northern Regional Minister, Adolf John Ali, said the event should inspire others to take action.
Shelfaila has thrown a challenge to me. I am a Christian, and I think Shelfaila is a Muslim, I believe. And on Christmas Day, Shelfaila has done this. I want to assure you that when we come to the fasting period, I'll do more. And Shelfaila, I will show you that you can challenge the regional. Yes.
The Northern Regional Commander, Deputy Director of Prisons, Obed Kofi Akwe, highlighted the need for compassion towards others, particularly this season of the year.
It is our honest desire that this occasion brings joy and serves as a key reminder of the value of compassion.
And marking a decade of championing community-led education, EduSport has convened 100 catalysts from across Ghana for a landmark national training academy. Well, the gathering brings together frontline advocates for gender equity and child safeguarding to co-design and lead the next phase of community transformation. Participants have been equipped to establish inclusive Ignite equity clubs reaching nearly 1,000 learners while strengthening safe, child-centered learning environments that reflect the voices, rights, and needs of children nationwide. Anna Sabet has more.
Across the vibrant towns and regions of Ghana, a quiet revolution in education is gaining momentum, and at its heart are not foreign experts but local heroes, community catalysts. This week, about 100 of these changemakers converged here in Akumadan for a landmark summit marking a decade of impact and forging a safer, more equitable future for thousands of young learners.
I've been in Salugu for quite some time. I remember when I got there, I noticed that the enrollment drive for girls was low. But along the line, when Sport came into the picture, I noticed that the narrative is no longer the same. Because with catalyst engagement with the community, parents, community leaders, chiefs, religious leaders are getting to know that education of the girl is very important.
For 10 years, EduSports has been fueling community-led education. Now this dedicated group representing 50 communities across 11 regions is taking that mission to the next level with gender equity and child safeguarding family in focus.
We all need to embrace gender equity. We shouldn't be biased. We shouldn't stereotype that some roles are for boys and some roles are for girls, because all girls and all boys can equally perform the same roles provided they are given the equal opportunities they deserve.
This is hands-on strategic work. The catalysts are diving into everything from mental health awareness and bullying prevention to intercultural leadership and asset-based planning. The goal? To co-create and lead Ignite Equity Clubs in 2026, directly engaging nearly 1,000 young people while ensuring every learning space is a safe haven. Zoe Ohene Ampofo is the Safeguarding and Inclusion Manager at EduSports.
It's important to state that this program was actually called for by the catalysts. They are those present here. They actually asked for it because they realized the gender barriers that they were facing in their communities. So one thing that we do is that we're not only focusing on the girl child, we're looking at both the girl child and the boy child. So the boys learn about the girls and the girls learn about the boys, which I think is something unique that we're doing.
The Academy recognizes that safety and equity are deeply connected, including the UNESCO Intercultural Leadership Program highlighting its far-reaching significance. Chief Executive Officer of EduSports, Kat Davidson, says this will help build sustainable community-owned change.
So it's really interesting that the origin of the Ignite Equity program started as a program that was about empowering girls called Ignite Girls, and that came from the communities, as everything in EduSports does. But at some point, the community said, why are the boys not also involved? So now the program aims to involve boys and girls and coming together to understand the strengths both have, the problems they both have, and bringing both genders together to explore solutions that benefit them both in collaboration in the whole process. And that's what I think EduSports as a community, this is not me, it's the catalysts, have decided that it's best when gender-based issues are not handled in isolation, but when genders are brought together for open dialogue to work together to build a future that's better for everybody.
From a gathering of 100, the impact multiplies across thousands, proving that when you equip local leaders with knowledge, skills, and belief, the future of education is not just brighter, it is more equitable, safe, and entirely in their hands. Reporting for Joy News, Anas Sabit, Akumadan.
And Deputy Finance Minister and MP for Esuejaman constituency, Thomas Ampemnyako, has pledged to transform the economic fortunes of Arahia and Sapor through sustained investment in critical social infrastructure. Despite being only a few kilometers from the Akosombo hydropower dam, the two communities endured decades without electricity. Commissioning a 2.4 kilowatt electricity network extension project on Christmas Day, Mr. Ampemnyako reaffirmed his unwavering commitment to expanding essential infrastructure, including roads and markets, to drive productivity and improve living standards of residents. Carlos Coloni has more.
Residents of Irahai and Sapor, two communities near the Akosombo hydro dam, have lived for generations without access to grid electricity, a situation that has undermined livelihoods and quality of life. But that has changed on Christmas Day, December 25, 2025. Their Member of Parliament, Thomas Ampem-Nyako, commissioned a self-funded electrification project as a Christmas gift to the resident.
The first Christmas present, President Mahama Ede Mamone, and they say, "Oh, Mamu Kania." Look, this electricity will improve the living condition of the people here. Apart from electrification, you can also see, sir, we are working hard on your road. And the Akosombo Jekiti Kudikopen Road in Ekaho. Subsequent to that, you have seen the aggression with which the contractors are working. And the road ya moving, our contractor ya starting, until so big.
The MP further announced plans to construct a 6-unit teachers' bungalow to improve accommodation and retain teachers in the Sapor community.
This community has experienced a very high rate of teacher attrition. Anytime teachers are posted here, within a year or two, they manage to get postings out of the community. As we speak now, we don't have enough teachers in the schools, and so sometimes they have to combine classes. It's because of the environment here. One, there was no electricity here. Today, there is electricity. And so we have also secured one contract for the construction of 6-unit teachers' bungalows to allow teachers to get decent accommodation here, because some of them commute from Akosombo to this place, a very long distance, and so it affects their output.
Former UN Senior Governance Advisor Professor Kweku Agyeman-Duah has opposed proposals to reduce the minimum age requirement for presidential candidates from 40 to 30 years, arguing that the office demands a level of maturity and experience that most people at that age are unlikely to possess. He made the comments on Newsfile during discussions on the ongoing Constitutional Review Committee being undertaken by the committee, which is led by Professor Agyeman-Duah. And he questioned the basis for the proposed amendment, stressing that leadership at the level of the presidency requires substantial exposure, maturity, and practical experience.
Let there be light.
Resident of Uraha and Sapor took.
I think overall, I'm happy with the process. Of course, I personally, I didn't like the idea of reducing the age from 40 to 30, because I think at 30 years we don't have enough maturity. Pardon me for those who think I'm wrong, but I think if you take the Ghanaian context into account, for instance, you finish school, well, some do finish school very early, but most Ghanaians from the villages as I come from, by the time you finish your first degree, you are almost 27, 28. And even if by then you have finished your master's, what experience do you have? What exposure have you had to run the country? And, run the country is not running Nook's organization.
So that's the difficulty about the democracy, right?
Meanwhile, the chairman of the Constitution Review Committee, Professor Henry Kwesi Prempeh, responding to concerns that the proposal could allow inexperienced individuals to assume the nation's highest office, cited historical precedents, noting that former President John Agyekum Kufuor held significant leadership roles at a much younger age.
Localized. In part it is, right? When you have an inauguration for your president, right, after a democratic election, at which one of your neighbors is invited, who has overthrown, who has come to power through a coup d'etat, and that neighbor of yours gets the loudest applause from the crowd, you have to sit up and pay attention.
Ibrahim Traore.
Right?
Yeah.
So, indeed, I mean, what is happening in our immediate environment is very germane to this process. So when we recount the development that have happened that affect our thinking around constitutional review, we mention that as one of the important events. You know, this resurgence of coups d'etat is something Ghana needs to pay attention to. Because if you listen to the youth chatter around this matter, you know, they are echoing some of these sentiments. They are losing hope and pointing to these other countries. So the democratic backsliding is not just something external to this place. Afrobarometer is telling us that Ghanaians like democracy, but they are dissatisfied with this outcome. So that is also evidence we need to pick up before, again, we get to a collapse or a crisis. I think being preventative is good.
So quick to the extension and reduction in the age.
Yes, so the reduction in the age, you know, there's a bit of history, right? In 1960, in the 60 Constitution, the age for president minimum was 35. In 1969, and this is an important difference, we had a ceremonial president. I think the age was 40 or higher. But real power was with the executive. It was with the prime minister and the cabinet. And to get into cabinet, you had to come from parliament. That age was 21. Right? The minimum age at the time was 21. So really, the governing power, those who held governing power, we set the minimum age for them at 21.
In Ghana, a constitution in Ghana's history.
Absolutely, in 69. Okay. So when President Kufuor became a deputy minister, he was 20-something, right? Not even 30, because his constitution allowed him to get to parliament at 21, and from parliament he could be picked to become a cabinet minister, and he could have become prime minister too. Buzia could have been 22. We allowed it, right? So that is where real power resided. Then now you take on board the demographic changes that have happened. We have a much more youthful population. So it's important also, the Constitution has other values, signaling effects, signaling values. You need to signal to the population that, look, you matter. We are not just saying that, well, yeah, maybe Ghanaians will decide that after 20, after 21 or 30, we are not going to vote for you as president. But let it be done by Ghanaians.
Okay.
On the same program, former Member of Parliament for Tamale Central, Inusa Fuseni, argued that Ghana's 4-year presidential term is sufficient to ensure accountability.
It more efficiently. And why 5 years?
You have just given the reasons. Kufuor gave those reasons. No, they haven't changed.
Kufuor gave those reasons, but we have also known, and the Constitution Review Committee also gave reasons. I mean, imagine norm. Imagine global norm. And,
that's right.
And then probably took inspiration from Kenya and maybe South Africa. But where do we have to go? You know, I think 4 years is enough to hold our people and our elected representatives accountable. And John Dramani Mahama has demonstrated that. Clearly, in this term of his presidency, he's shown that you can set up your government in less than 3 months. You can do that and get the government running. In fact, he's also shown that you can achieve significant success in your first year in government.
And meanwhile, the Vice Chair of Parliament's Subsidiary Legislation Committee and a member of the Constitutional and Legal Affairs Committee, Nana Ejay Bafwewa, described the Constitution Review Committee's proposal to extend the presidential term from 4 to 5 years as unnecessary.
Fundamental question is, what mischief are we seeking to cure with that extension or proposed extension? The mischief, for me, very respectful, I got that from Professor Prempe's engagement with Kweku Asante, which is about giving the president sufficient time to finish with his work. Brilliant. But we have to appreciate practically that no president will be able to finish almost everything he finishes. He constants. And so the issue really has to do with continuity. And so we have to pass a law to ensure continuity and not rather extend the president's term. Because the president, he will take loans, he will not be able to finish the loans he takes before he leaves office. He will start projects. The project's lifespan will exceed his tenure. He will pass laws. The laws will exceed his tenure. He might not be able to implement them. And so realistically, adding 1 more year will not enable the president to finish everything he starts. And so it is an issue of continuity. That has been the debate. Presidents, successive presidents, not been able to finish projects that their predecessors started. I think that we should look at how best we are going to do it. Professor Prempe's committee did something that for me was very, very brilliant. You see, when you look at Professor Fiajo's committee's report, it talked about strengthening the National Development Planning Committee. Professor Prempe's committee takes it further by saying that every bill that comes to Parliament must show how it ties into the National Development Planning Committee. It is like what we say in civil litigation.
That's it for Joy Newsroom this afternoon. My name is Kenneth. Jesse, have a good day.